Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel ForexPnL. Today is Saturday the 16th of April 2022 and it's 8:27 a.m. Time for me to do my weekend Forex forecast for the upcoming week. Guys, first of all, I would like to apologize for not putting out a video last week. Guys, I was sick and I'm having allergies. I'm still having them right now. You probably can tell from my voice, but I'm feeling much better now. So without any further delays, guys, let's go into the charts, okay? Actually, before we go into the charts, let's take a look at the economical calendar to see what we have on schedule for the upcoming week. All right, so now I'm looking into the economical calendar for next week. You guys know we have a couple of bank holidays. As you can see here on Sunday, we have the New Zealand bank holiday. We have bank holiday in Australia. We have a couple of bank holidays as well on Monday because of the Easter celebrations, and well, that was anticipated. So keep this in mind because that means we might have thin liquidity in the markets going into next week, okay? At least early next week. Things I will expect to kick off from Tuesday, okay? So for Monday trading, be very careful because the liquidity might be very thin. All right. Now, that being said as well, on Sunday we have the GDP coming from the Chinese axis. That's a high impact news. We also have a couple of CPIs next week coming from the Canadian axis and New Zealand respectively. And then we have a couple of speeches from the Bank of England governor and Fed Chair Powell and manufacturing PMI. So that's about it for what we have on the agenda for next week. Key things to keep in mind: we have a lot of bank holidays going into next week, so just be careful if you're trading on Monday. All right, so with that out of the way, now we can go ahead and take a look at the charts. All right, if we take a look at Dixie. Now, looking into Dixie, this is the weekly time frame. The market just continues to push to the upside, as you can see here. Well, after this little consolidation we had in this area, you can see the market just continues to push to the upside, closing very solid bullish candles, okay, for the weeks. All right, so as you can see, this is also a very bullish week. Price has now clearly traded above 100. All right, we are now actually closing the week at 150. So, well, this market just continues to be bullish. There's no need, trying to, fight the trend. Just go with the trend, wait for pullbacks, and try to take your trades accordingly. All right. Now, taking a look at the daily time frame. Now, if I look into the daily time frame, well, price respected that demand zone that we're keeping an eye on in this area, and from here you can see now price has given us another push to the upside, breaking these levels of structure that we have here, and I'm creating this new demand zone in the process. Okay, so well, from a daily time frame perspective, I would love to see price obviously give me a push into this area, into this particular demand zone. Maybe 9800 level becomes key at this point, or even 9850 area. Okay, anywhere from right around here, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go long for further continuations to the upside. But again, this is the daily time frame. From the way price is moving, it might take a while for us to get that reversal that will get us to now start retracing back again towards daily demand zone levels. All right, just something to keep an eye on. Now, from the 4 hours time frame, yes, you can see I did not map out this particular level right here, and there's a reason for that. Okay, because I don't quite like how this move happened in the markets. Okay, personally, I was keeping an eye on this particular demand zone area. Okay, this was actually a nice setup from the week. You can see this area right here. I was keeping an eye on that, but as you can see here, this move to the downside kind of broke that level. So I really don't like this for a nice for a nice demand zone area. In my own opinion, if price is to come back to this level again, chances are it might just form enough. Let me just show you guys what I mean. All right, so if price is to come back to this area, chances are maybe it might just be enough to retest this selling origins for price to maybe continue pushing again to the downside. So it's not the best looking in my opinion. Is this a level where the bulls came into the market? Yes, we broke structure as well, but I really don't like this level. And pay attention to the kind of movements we got in this area. In my own opinion, price is now looking as if we might get some form of consolidation, at least, or even possibly retracements towards the daily demand zone area. So right now, in my own opinion, I would say stay away, okay? Stay away, okay? Or at least wait for things to get clearer. If the markets now continue, obviously, to start pushing to the upside from here, then I will start waiting for price to, continue, giving me retracements to demand zones that form. But at this particular point, based on the way this market is moving, all right, you see all these thin movements we have in this area, and then we have a very solid sellout, solid buy. This is indecision in the markets, okay? So that's not the kind of markets I like to be involved in. All right, so well, let's see what happens. Do we get a move of this nature, and then maybe something of this nature? Then that confirms some form of diamond formation, and this could be the kind of price action that results in the process. Okay, I just want to give you guys an idea of what I'm keeping an eye on in this particular index at the moment. Okay, but for right now, I'm not so interested in the kind of price action that I'm seeing. All right, and that's the reason why I did not map up this level. All right, that's it for Dixie. Not much. Right now I'm just staying put and waiting for more price action to develop. Now, taking a look at US dollar Swiss francs, let's start from the weekly time frame. Well, price obviously remains in this flat top triangular consolidation, okay, that we have on the weekly. But you can see right now, as anticipated from like 2 weeks ago, I told you guys that the price could easily dip into this particular engulfing pattern that we have here, and from here the bulls might most likely come back into the markets to start pushing things again towards this the high of this particular triangle, and that is pretty much what this market is doing at the moment. All right, you can see we now have obviously 2 solid bullish weeks, and well, the bulls are in this market at this point, okay? And well, if we go into the daily time frame, you notice that we have kind of an inverted head and shoulder formation here. Obviously, that's not what I'm trading, but we can see it clearly in this particular portion. Obviously, we have levels of structure now taking off on our charts. Well, let's see if the bears are going to come into this market to at least give us a push to the downside into the demand zones that we now have forming in the 4 hours time frame. Now, taking a look at the 4 hours time frame, what do we have here? The picture becomes clearer. Well, you can see that this is that demand zone area that we have right around 0.9350 level. Now, from right around here, let's say if the bears are coming to this market to retest, let's say 9350 institutional price level, anywhere from right around here, in my opinion, if we get a bounce, that would be a high quality setup for the for one to start searching for long opportunities. Again, this is my opinion, guys. Feel free to do what you want, but this is what I'm seeing on my charts right now. I'll be keeping an eye on 9350 level as we go into next week, and I would like this to happen early next week. If the markets just let's say opens, and let's say Monday, Tuesday, we have a sort of consolidation because of the bank holidays, and then let's say the market does not do much, by then, in my own opinion, I would start questioning the validity of this level, okay? But well, if this happens by Tuesday, then this is still valid in my opinion. But if we start getting towards, let's say the market just continues to consolidate around here before, let's say, Wednesday, Thursday, and then we get this push to the downside, in my own opinion, I would not really want to take this setup anymore. Why? Because at that particular time, price could easily be respecting this flat top triangle, and this demand zone might just be big enough for a little retracement for further continuations to the downside, deeper into these buying origins, okay? So you guys get an idea of the reason why I want this to happen earlier in the week. All right, if it happens earlier in the week from right around current market levels, then in my own opinion, we can still get that push to the upside to take us towards the high of this particular flat top triangle that we have on the weekly time frame. All right, guys, please excuse my voice. I know it's very bad right now, but just bear with me in the process. I just don't want to lose my my flow in this in the weekend forex forecast that I'm doing. That's really the reason why I'm kind of stressing myself to put this video out. All right, okay, so well, let's go to the next currency pair, Euro US dollar. Now, for Euro US dollar, what do we have going on? Quite similar to the Dixie, okay, just opposite. As you can see here, we are looking into the weekly time frame. This market just continues to make new lows. We had another bearish week, as you can see here. Price now obviously deep into this particular buying origin that we have in this area. So who knows, do we get a violent move to the upside for, let's say, the big institutions coming to respect these buying origins that we have here? Who knows? That is also a possibility. Okay, so don't be surprised if you get a very serious move to the upside in this currency pair anywhere from right around here. Okay, it might not be next week, it might not be next 2 weeks, but well, this area right here, it's an area for one to be very careful, when trading, because this is obviously the buying origin on a weekly time frame from where this whole move originated from. Okay, so but for right now, the bears are still in control. As you can see, the market is just forming lower highs and lower lows. Okay, and right now we have taken off this previous low, and price is now around this area. Okay, we actually even saw price trading around 1.0750 this week. Okay, so just be careful as you navigate through this particular currency pairs. Now that's it for the weekly time frame. Now in the daily time frame, I'm not really seeing much in this particular currency pair. I'm not going to waste your time, obviously. Unlike the case of the Dixie, you can see that euro dollar is not really pushing as we just barely took off this previous swing low. Okay, and we just took it off with this week right here. So euro dollar is not moving in the same momentum as the Dixie. Okay, so that is something to keep an eye on as well. Okay, if I go back to the Dixie right now, you will see that we have clearly taken off this previous swing high. You see, this was the previous swing high in Dixie. Price has clearly taken it off, but you notice that if you go to euro to US dollar, price has barely just taken off this previous swing low that we have in this area. Okay, so is that a sign of a lack of momentum in the markets? Who knows? But something to keep an eye on. And again, if you go into the 4-hour time frame, we have a similar price action, just like we have in the Dixie. Obviously, this happened with the European Central Bank decision, okay, interest rate decision. All right, so that was when price flushed to the downside towards 1.0750 area, and then from there you can see that not much has really happened as we went into Friday. So well, I want to see more price action develop in this currency pair before I even say anything at the moment. But right now, not much is happening, in my own opinion. Okay, let's see what happens early next week. Again, keep an eye out for the midweek forex forecast that I release on Wednesday, 1 a.m. Eastern. All right, for an updated analysis. Okay, especially for this week, since not much can be said based on the price action that I'm seeing right now on my charts. Okay, all right. That's it for euro US dollar. Next up is going to be Australian dollar US dollar. Now for Australian dollar US dollar, if we go into the weekly time frame, well, this pair right now, you really need to be careful, okay, because it's really at a point of inflection. Okay, price is pretty much at a price level where if we begin to break this level, we might be going down for a while. Okay, if price really begins to break current levels, chances are we might be dipping towards maybe even 7100 area, okay, into these buying origins if price clearly breaks below this daily demand zone. Okay, but from right around here as well, price can easily continue to the upside. Okay, so that's why I said we are at a very key decision area right around this price level right here, because if we read price action, okay, let's read price action. From here, obviously, price was making lower lows, okay, and then all of a sudden, price gives us a second attack to the downside. And then from here, the bulls begin to come into this market. We take off this previous lower high. Price pulls back and gives us a nice push to the upside. All right, forming now a higher high. And we have actually succeeded in taking off this particular level with this wick right here. Okay, so the question is, how strong is this takeoff right here? Okay, we took it off, but again, that wick ended a pin bar to the downside. So could this be just a push to the upside to grab liquidity from this area for further continuations to the downside? Or is this weak spike to the upside good enough to let you know that we have now taken off these levels, and price might now respect this newly forming demand zone area that we have on Australian dollar US dollar for maybe another continuation to the upside from here? So again, more price action needs to develop. You need to be very careful in this particular currency pairs at this moment. Okay, I just wanted to put that out there. Now if we take a look at the daily, we can see that obviously we have a demand zone in this area that took off this level of structure. Price dipped in right around that 0.7400 level. We got a quick spike to the upside, but then from there you can see that kind of fizzled out, and the bears are now coming back into this market again, but we are still deep inside that daily demand zone. Now two courses of action here. If price is to continue to dip to the downside from here, clearly taking off this demand zone, then in my own opinion, that is the first indication that, well, this might now be the beginning of a bearish move. Okay, however, price can easily run into these particular buying origin areas that we have around, let's say, 7200 area, and from here that could be another beginning of a new swing to the upside. So like I said, this is going to be a break of this demand zone that we have in this area. Is going to be the first sign of weakness, or the first sign that the bears are now in control. But I would be selling if that happens, okay, until, let's say, price begins to dip into these buying origins that we have here. A break of this buying origin, in my own opinion, is going to open the floodgates to the downside for the bears to just continue pushing these markets to the downside. All right, so that's just kind of what I'm seeing in this currency pair from a longer term perspective. If we go into the 4 hours time frame, not much right now. You will notice that price is just inside that particular demand zone area. So the only time I'm really going to be thinking of going long in this currency pair, let's say from here, price respects this demand zone that we have on the daily, and then we get a very clear change in structure. And then upon pullbacks, I'll be looking for buy opportunities or demand zones that form in the smaller time frames for further continuations to the upside. Okay, that is the only time I'm going to be interested in going long in Australian dollar, US dollar. Okay, just wanted to give you guys an idea of what I'm looking at. New Zealand dollar, US dollar. To be honest with you, there's no need wasting your time. Right now, this is looking more bearish than bullish. Okay, obviously, if you see the way the price is moving, we can see we had 3 bearish weeks at the moment. Price is now, actually, we did not even get a pullback towards the supply area that we have right here. Price just gave us a push to the upside, and from here we are now pushing again to the downside. Looking more bearish than bullish, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. But again, there's no significant level for me to keep an eye on, in this particular currency pair right now. Yes, in this case, price took off these highs that we have here, and right now you can see we're trading very close to the lows of that demand zone area. So looking into the daily time frame, not much, to be honest with you. I would love to see price take off this level right here. Okay, if for me to really like the bears in these particular markets, I would love to see price take off 0.6729 level, 6730 level, because if we take off that particular level, then that would be an indication that we are now clearly taking off the previous high and lows that we have in these particular markets. And if that happens, I'll just be waiting for pullbacks to fill up supply zones in the smaller time frames for further continuations to the downside. All right, so that's what I would love to see in New Zealand US dollar going into next week. Now, just like in the case of Australian dollar, US dollar as well, price is now deep inside this particular buying origin that took price to the upside and broke this structure. Don't be surprised if from here price just takes off again to the upside, okay, towards 0.7000 areas. Okay, that's the reason why I said I would prefer to see price give me a clear break of 0.6730 to the downside before I start searching for short opportunities in this particular currency pair. I'm favoring the shorts in this market just because of the way this market is moving. If you add some let's say some technical analysis in this particular market, you notice that even the trend line has now been broken. All right, notice and see how, let's say, the markets retraced back to this trend line area, and we try to bounce, and from there we've now broken to the downside in momentum. We pull back, all right, into this particular trend line, respected it from below, and now we're continuing to the downside. So the bears are obviously waxing their muscles in this particular market. All right, so but I would like to see this 6730 give way to the downside, and then upon pullbacks, that will be high quality setups to searching for short opportunities, okay, as we go into next week. All right, so that's it for New Zealand dollar, US dollar from the daily. From the 4 hours, not much. Obviously the market is now clearly reversing. You can see we are respecting supply zones in these markets, okay, with this being one clear one right here. So the market is looking more bearish right now in this particular currency pair, but let's see what happens early next week. All right, Next up is going to be British pounds and US dollar. What do we have here now? For British pounds and US dollar, I don't have much either. Okay, you can see the weekly obviously is looking bullish, but we are tapping into some areas right here on the weekly time frame. Okay, these demand zone areas, so you have to be careful as well. And if you pay attention to the way the market is moving, you notice that we were moving in momentum in this area with significant momentum in this area, but then that is now slowly beginning to dry out in the market as we get deeper into this buying origins that we have here. So that's something to keep an eye on. And if you pay attention to the daily time frame, yes, the market is still respecting let's say lower highs and lower lows that have formed in these charts, but notice that as soon as price took off this particular level that we have here, this 1.30 level, you can see that we had a very massive bullish day in here. That could be an indication that the bulls are trying to protect that particular area. Okay, so let's see what happens next week. I will not be surprised if, let's say, the market opens next week and then let's say from here the bulls begin to come into these markets to push markets again to the upside. All right, but again, in the event that, let's say, we open next week and let's say we clearly begin to take off these lows that we have around this area, let's say we begin to trade to the downside clearly. One second, guys. Let's say from here we begin to trade clearly to the downside, breaking these lows, then that would indicate to me that the bears are in these markets, and I'll be waiting for price to pull back to supply zones that form in the smaller time frames for further continuations to the downside. All right, so let's see how that goes. That's really it for British pounds US dollar. Like I said, let's wait for more price action to develop. Now, for US dollar Canadian dollar, well, this is looking nice. If you guys remember, this is the flat top triangle that we are following in US dollar Canadian dollar. We've gotten that breakout, and well, you can see for the past 3 weeks now we've gotten a pullback in this particular currency pair. All right, and well, looking quite textbook in my own opinion. If we kind of map out this particular area, well, we are yet to kind of dip in clearly, but you can see that even though price traded above that triangle again, we succeeded in closing the week below that particular this trend line of this triangle. So I favor the bears more in these particular markets. However, it's not looking so clear. All right, and you see the reason in a moment. Okay, if we go into the daily time frame, there's really no supply zone for me to kind of use to track these markets. Okay, yes, price has given me a pullback towards that 126.50 level that I was tracking, but what I would love to really see right now is for the bears to start coming into these markets from right around current market price. If that happens, then I will be searching for, I'll be waiting for pullbacks to supply zones that form in the smaller time frames for further continuations to the downside. The ultimate confirmation for me that the bears are now in this market would be for price to clearly break these lows that we have right around 12400 institutional price level. If that is to happen, in my own opinion, then I will be all over these charts searching for short opportunities, upon pullbacks towards supply zones that form in the smaller time frames. All right, so that's pretty much it. At this point, again, I must say this. Okay, price can easily respect this particular buying origins that we have in this area. Okay, you can see we have a buying origin here, so price can easily respect it to continue pushing to the upside. That's why you don't anticipate any particular move, but based on what I'm seeing on my charts right now, I would prefer to see the bears coming to these markets to continue pushing these markets to the downside. All right, so that's really it for US dollar Canadian dollar. Now, next up, US dollar Japanese yen. Now, obviously, this guy has been the performer for a while now. We just continue to wax to the upside. You can see I have a couple of alarms in this particular currency pair, waiting for price to pull back, but we are not getting that pullback yet. Okay, who knows, we might not get them, but let's see. But right now on the daily time frame, I'm keeping an eye on this particular demand zone that we have right here that led to the break of this level of structure. In the event that price gives me that pullback into this particular demand zone right here, right around, let's say 122.50, 12200, anywhere from right around here, I'll be waiting for price to give me a reversal for further continuations to the upside. Now, if we go into the 4 hours time frame as well, this is a demand zone, obviously breaking this level of structure. Actually, we've gotten a dip into that demand zone, and you can see price continues to make a higher high. So, I mean, the bulls are just in this particular currency pair. All right. So, well, should we get a dip towards, let's say, 125.50 level? Okay, anywhere from right around here, any bounces, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go long for further continuations to the upside. Okay, right now it seems as if we might be getting that reversal from what I'm seeing right now, but you can see how price is rounding up. Pin bar rejection, and slowly the bears are coming into this market. But again, this is thin liquidity. Okay, this was Friday trading, and this particular Friday, because we are going into the holidays, you really cannot use that as an indication of what's going on in the market. But I would love to see price give me that dip into this particular demand zone right around 122, 125.50 level, anywhere from right around there. If I get that bounce, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go long for further continuations to the upside. All right, that's really it for US dollar Japanese yen. Now, the last but not the least for the majors is going to be British pound some Japanese yen. All right, now for GJ, similar story to what we have in US dollar Japanese yen. Price just continues to wax to the upside. We got this pin bar right here, which was the first sign of weakness that we had in this particular currency pair. And from here, I anticipated that maybe price can give us a retracement now to the downside. But from there, you can see for the past 2 weeks, the bulls just remain in this market. We've now taken off the high of that pin bar, so that invalidates this particular pin bar right now. So well, not much to be said. In the daily time frame, I really don't have any significant demand zones to kind of keep an eye on. We have one here, but I have a 4 hours demand zone right there that I'm tracking. So that's why I decided not to map that out. But I really like this particular 4 hours demand zone right here that led to the break of this level of structure. All right, so this demand zone 16400, 16350 level, valid in my own opinion. So I'll be keeping an eye on this particular currency pair as we go into next week. Any pullbacks towards this particular demand zone, if we bounce to the upside, I'll be looking for opportunities to go long for further continuations to the upside. In the event that price begins to break below this particular demand zone, then chances are we might be heading to the downside, even possibly towards these buying origins that we have in this particular area right here, from where maybe price might give us a retest of, let's say, 160.100 for another rotation to the upside. Who knows? Only time will tell. But I just wanted to give you guys an idea of the price action that I am keeping an eye on, okay, when it comes to GJ. All right, now the last but not the least is going to be British pound some Australian dollar. That's the only cross pair that I'm kind of keeping an eye on. And if you take a look at the daily time frame, all right, you'll notice that price has given us a very nice push to the downside, and from this particular rotation, we have broken key levels on our charts. Okay, so this is a key level on our charts that we are keeping an eye on right here. You can see that price gave us a push to the downside, all right, into that particular level, and then from there we hesitated a little bit. From there, a little hesitation, and then bang, the market broke to the downside, creating this supply zone in the process. Okay, this particular supply zone in the daily time frame. So I'm keeping an eye on that particular level. Price is now retracing towards that particular area. So let's see what happens. Should price get into that area, anywhere from right around there, if we get any bounces, I'll be looking for opportunities to go short again to continue, riding this market back to the downside. All right, right now it's really looking bearish, and I'm only interested in short opportunities off of the daily time frame. All right, so that's pretty much it right now. Hopefully you guys gained some value from this particular video. Again, I apologize if the audio did not come out as good as it used to. So that's because of right now I'm not feeling the best. Okay, so hopefully you guys gained some value from this video. If you did, please do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and click on the notification bell so that you will always get updates whenever I post a video. All right, cheers and enjoy the rest of your weekend, and most importantly, have a profitable week ahead. Bye bye.